Welcome to my Napoleon Total War series of videos. I hope to be able to do the full campaign like I did with the United Provinces as well, and hope also that the end won't be quite so rushed. You can see I've chosen the historical campaign. We have World Domination, which you can read as well, and it will tell you about what it means and what you have to do. I'm going to go for the historical one because I like the historical one, and 60 regions for World Domination is virtually everything. I don't even want to go through all of these, but I think you'll work out that a sizable amount, nearly all of them, would be required for World Domination. It's the same period of time that you have to complete it in, so it's less of interest to me. So I'm not going to go for that. I need 25 regions. I tend to need these regions around here. Here's Finland. This is one of the Ottoman areas. This and this. It tends to be these sorts of areas that I need, and then further ones as well. I've got quite a lot to start with, which is good news. I've got some armies in the field as well, which is also pretty good news. But technology research rate is very, very low, and I'll demonstrate that in a moment when I show you the sort of bargaining screens with the other nations. So we're doing it all on very, very hard because it looks to be, to me anyway, he says, touching wood, a very easy campaign to play, certainly in relation to Empire Total War United Provinces, which gave you this little bit, and then it gave you a completely different map over here with the India on it, or Ceylon rather, one place, and then over in the Americas, like one place, I think it was Dutch Guyana, so you were split between little regions all over the place. Here we've got this great big clump, which is great fun. I've chosen this for a variety of reasons. Napoleon is going to be the most popular option, I'm sure. Britain is a popular option. I'm told other people are doing these on YouTube anyway, and also Prussia as well is in there. Austria might have been interesting. I like the idea of Russia because, I don't know, I like the idea of the Great Russian Bear, Battle of Borodino, all the famous things from there. And of course, I've got all the troop updates as well. Heroes of the Napoleonic War, Elite Units. So I'm starting with all the units that you get with the full set. So should be interesting. Anyway, let's go for it and see how it plays out. Okay, here we are in the game, and this is the first screen that you see after you've had an introduction telling you that you're the Great Russian Bear and Europe needs you in order to fend off France, but that you might need to expand your kingdom in order to defend it along the western border. North, east, south, west, that's right, the western border. First of all, I need to forge an alliance with Prussia, and I get 1,000 in my treasury for doing that. Don't know what the Russian currency was at this point. Maybe somebody can help me out with that one. But anyway, let's see if we can go to the negotiating table. Same thing, you know, the sort of laurel wreath that we had in Empire Total War as well. So we go to Prussia, and I'm going to open negotiations, and I'm going to see if I can get the alliance that will give me 1,000 from them, and I'm going to offer them something. If I offer them payments, by the way, they want 1,500, so I'm not going to do that at all. I'm going to offer them military access for a limited period of time, and see if they accept that. Okay. As usual, I've gone through most of these screens, you know, sort of perfecting what I think is the best way of fighting the campaign, so I'm not guessing as I go along. Military access 10 turns for a military alliance. Now, they should accept that. Yes, they do. Okay, so that's the alliance, and also you'll see that my money has gone up now from 5,000 up to 6,000 because that money goes in right away. Also, you'll notice that there are various places like this one, the Ottomans, who I'm going to go to war with anyway, so I'm not going to have a trade agreement. I'm going to set up trade agreements with those who I think are going to be long-term trading partners with me. So I'm going to set up a trade agreement with Britain. Is not only that, if they're a trading partner, then they might well just defend the trade routes for me as well with their wonderful navies that they've got. So I look down here as well and find Portugal. There it is, Portugal. That's another one that I haven't got a trade agreement with. As usual, I can only use so many trade routes, so I can only do this so many times. So that's with Portugal. Yes, they're perfectly happy with that as well, so I've got trade from there as well. And the final one that I'm going to go for is Mecklenburg. Denmark is a possibility, but they want loads and loads of money for a trade agreement, and I don't want to give them that. And they won't accept military access because we're too far away from them, so it's a waste of time. So what I'm going to do is ask for a trade agreement with them, and I'll see if they go for it without money. I doubt they will. I think they'll have to. Noble Sovereign, delighted. Talks of ended at 6. Good day for you. Well, you know, this game is sort of like a probability type scale, which means that sometimes you'll be asked to pay something and sometimes you won't. Now, normally I'm asked by them to pay about 150, but on this occasion they haven't asked for anything at all. I usually negotiate them down to 130, by the way. So anyway, okay, so that's that. But what I do want to do is just show you what technologies that these other nations have got before we get started. So there's Britain. Open negotiations. I just show the technologies that they've got already, and they've got the classical economics, and they've got improved coppering already. If you look at I don't know, France. Let's look at France. Open negotiations. Look at the technology that they've got. You can see that they've got conscription, giving them a chance to get troops in much more quickly. And I'll just show you one more for now, and that's Prussia. And you can see that Prussia have got, when you look at the technology on there, you see they've got fire and advance, and they've got public schooling. Public schooling is the one that I'm going to go for, because it gives a plus 10% to technological research rate, and it spawns gentlemen, so it will speed it up. But down at the bottom there, you see Court of Justice. Court of Justice is very handy to have, because it increases your wealth percentage-wise. It doesn't just add to your income from each region. What it does is it will give you a percentage increase. I think it's 10% that it gives you. Oh, now there is one other thing that I need to do. Sweden are going to become an enemy of mine. I know that I'm going to get the task of attacking Sweden. Alliances tend to go on for some time. If they go on for some time, breaking them causes problems. So I don't want the alliance now. I want to get rid of that straight away. Because if I don't, then when I do finally break my alliance with them and go to war with them, which I'm also going to do now as well, by the way, then other nations join in, and it's usually Britain. And I don't want to go to war with Britain just to fulfill one of my mission targets in this game here. So let's, where are we? Declare war. There we go. I'm not going to call allies to help, otherwise they're split in their allegiances, and they can sometimes go down the middle. Some will go with me, some will go with them, and the last thing I want is a great war in Europe now. So there we go, just declare war on there. Expect a good day to you. Right, okay, war declared. And nobody's joined in on their side, so that's absolutely excellent for us. Unfortunately, like I said, sometimes it does work the other way around, and you'll end up with Britain, at least Britain, going to war with you. And of course you just had a trade agreement with them as well, so you lose your trade agreement as well, so that's not the wise way to go. Right, now having done that, I'm going to use, I'm not very used to this map yet, I've looked at it a few times, but I'm still not used to it, so I'm going to use my lists scene, screen rather, the one that lists where my troops are, or what my troops are before I move them. So that's a spy. I'm going to take him into the place that I'm going to be given as a task later on in the game. Let me just speed up the movement of him, so that I can see exactly what troops he's got in there. It's a successful mission, and I can see the army in here is not a great one. So that's good news for us. And the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put my gentleman wherever he is. I hope that he's let me have him in a decent position. Let's look, there he is, and I'll put him into the college here. And while we're in the college, that's when I'm going to try getting the technological research that I want, which is public schooling. 10% technology research rate, and I get a Court of Justice. It's not going to let me know what that Court of Justice is yet, is it? I'll show you briefly. There you go. Plus 15% bonus to the region tax income when you have that building, so it's definitely worth having. Plus 3 repression in the region, etc., etc. So, okay, so we're going to have that. It takes 8 to get, unfortunately. It's going to take a long, long time. What a shame. I really want this. Other nations have it to begin with, division of labour. It allows me to build manufacturing, various other industries. So, there's no point in me going for this yet until I've got much further into the game. Okay, now then, if I can build a port down here. This is going to be my trading port. In this game, you'll notice, I hope, let me just pan out so you can see, that the trading hubs are not on separate maps, they're here, all on the same map. Now the resources that I have access to are not brilliant ones. This one here is coffee. The others here, the two that are here are furs. I'll be vying with the Ottomans in order to get those, but anyhow. Now, back to lists. Where my armies are. There's one army, Buxtehude, however you pronounce that, and I'm going to put him. Should have learned a bit of Russian, shouldn't I? A bit of Russian practice before I started. Yeah, I'm going to put him over here. This is my access route into Finland, so we'll have him in there.